I'm David Duncan, and in this video, I'll be introducing you to desktop class iPad. iOS 16 brings advances to the tools used to design and build great apps. Apps that bring more and better tools to the forefront and take advantage of all the hardware, both built-in and attached. UIKit adds many tools to help you meet these goals for your apps. Updates to UINavigationBar allow you to take better advantage of screen real estate and build a great experience on all Apple platforms. The new Find and Replace UI is a snap to enable on built-in views and easy to add to custom ones. The Edit menu has been overhauled with a new interaction-based API that integrates with the menu system. And collection view improvements make it easier than ever to build interfaces that let your users select and act on their content. For more information on Find and Replace and Edit menu, watch Adopt Desktop Class Editing Interactions. And to see how all these features work together, watch Build a Desktop Class iPad App. In this video, I'll discuss changes to navigation that impact how you design your app for iOS 16. First are new features that make it easy to build more discoverable interfaces. Then, features that are especially powerful for document-based apps. And finally, updates to search to help accelerate and polish the experience. UINavigationBar is used for many different purposes on iOS, and iOS 16 acknowledges that by providing new, optimized UI for many of these cases. UI Navigation Item adds a style property used to select from these styles: Navigator, Browser, and Editor. I'll dive into each of these styles now. The default style, Navigator, behaves exactly as a traditional UI navigation bar. The title is centered, there are leading and trailing bar button items, and a back button appears when there is more than one item on the stack. The browser style rearranges contents to be better optimized for interfaces where history matters as much as location, like in Files or Safari. The title is moved to the leading position in this styling. The editor style is optimized for when the primary function is document editing. Just like the browser style, the title is leading aligned. Editor UIs are often a destination, such as after selecting a document with a document picker, and so present a back button for easy access to that UI. The browser and editor styles both free up a lot of space in the center of the bar. iOS 16 takes advantage of this liberated space by allowing you to place additional controls in this region. Center items are part of a suite of changes to take better advantage of screen real estate and include support for UI bar button item group, customization support, and overflow. Overflow support is available in all modes and allows the navigator style to indirectly support center items as well. Individual controls continue to be specified as UI bar button items, but now are organized as UI bar button item groups. This allows for denser presentation when space is at a premium. In this example, there are 5 items in the bar, consisting of 4 groups. The first group contains a single bar button item. So this example uses a convenience method of UI bar button item, creating fixed group, to create it. If you need a fixed group with more than one item, you can use the UI bar button item group method instead. Fixed groups always appear first in the bar and cannot be removed or moved by customization. The draw group contains a single item, so it also uses a convenience API, creating movable group customization identifier. Like fixed groups, movable groups cannot be removed but can be moved. Because of this, they require a customization identifier so their position can be tracked and saved. If you need a group with more than one item, you can use the UIBarButtonItemGroup method instead. The Shapes group contains multiple items, and so uses the UIBarButtonItemGroup API to create the group. This group should be movable within the bar as well as removable, and so is created as an optional group. This group also specifies a representative item, allowing UIKit to collapse the group to save space when necessary. The representative item does not specify an action, further allowing UIKit to synthesize a menu allowing selection of the items in the group. When the customization UI is invoked, UIKit automatically applies the rules you've specified based on how you've created your groups. While fixed and movable groups must stay in the bar, optional groups can be added or removed in any number. UIKit will try collapsing groups to keep as much functionality as possible in the bar, but if space isn't available, extra items will be moved to overflow. The overflow menu contains any items that are part of the customization but could not be fit into the bar, as well as the option to customize the bar. While UIKit will synthesize default menu elements for each bar button item, you have the option to customize the menu representation if you wish. Finally, this example enables customization and adds the center item groups. You enable customization by setting UINavigationItem.CustomizationIdentifier. The customization identifier defines a unique customization of the bar, so pick a string that won't conflict with other customizations within your app. UIKit automatically saves and restores customizations based on this identifier. Next, provide the center item groups themselves. The first four groups I've already covered. The format group is an optional group that isn't in the default customization. And so this code overrides the default value of the isInDefault customization parameter to exclude it. You can still use center item groups without setting UINavigationItem.CustomizationIdentifier, but customization will not be available. In Mac Catalyst, the UINavigationBar automatically translates its content to NSToolbar. The leading, center, and trailing item groups are added in order, and the customization properties of the center item groups are respected when using NSToolbar customization. All of the expected NSToolbar behaviors are available, as well as other properties such as the title and window proxy. All of this occurs by default when you optimize for the Mac. Next, let's focus in on interactions that are powerful, specifically when dealing with documents. UINavigationBar now supports adding a menu to the title view, giving a central location to add actions that operate on the content as a whole. Additionally, you can add support for the share sheet and drag and drop from this menu. First, I'll focus on the menu items themselves. Once enabled, the default title menu offers 5 commands: duplicate, move, rename, export, and print. These items are filtered based on specific methods in your responder chain. UINavigationBar has specific support for renaming, and so it will also be included if you've implemented a rename delegate. To enable the title menu, set the title menu provider, a closure that returns the final menu to be displayed. The closure is passed an array of suggested elements. You can use these as is, filter them, or add your own. In our example, we're adding a single additional action to the menu. Finally, you return the composed UI menu. The title menu also allows sharing via the Activity View Controller and support for drag and drop. To enable these features, you provide a UI Document Properties instance that describes your document. UI document properties represents metadata about your document, including a preview. This example creates one with the URL, allowing UIKit to fetch the necessary metadata automatically. To enable additional features, this example creates an NSItem provider to represent the document. Set a drag items provider to enable drag and drop. This closure is passed a UI drag session and returns an array of UI drag items. This example returns a single item representing the document. Setting an activity view controller provider enables sharing. This closure configures and returns a UI activity view controller. Finally, assign the filled-out object to UINavigationItem.document properties. And when the title is tapped, UIKit presents the header alongside other title menu items. On Mac Catalyst, the suggested items that would be passed to the title menu provider already exist in the File menu. Any items that you would have added to the title menu will need to be made available by other means. You can use the UI Menu Builder API to add those items or filter existing items as necessary. If you specify document properties, UIKit will automatically use the URL provided to manage the macOS proxy icon. If you set the represented URL for your Windows scene manually, that will supersede UIKit's management. UIKit provides two mechanisms to enable rename. Inline rename is provided by setting UINavigationItem.renameDelegate and provides a dedicated UI for editing the title on all platforms. When completed, the resulting name is passed to the delegate. Alternatively, you can take full control over the rename experience by implementing UIResponder.rename and providing whatever UI you prefer. On iOS, the UI navigation bar provides the rename UI directly within the title view. On macOS, the rename UI is provided by the Windows title when the navigation bar is hosted in an NS toolbar. To implement inline rename, conform to the UI navigation item rename delegate protocol and set the navigation item's rename delegate. There is only one required method, navigation item did end renaming with, that is used to receive the title accepted by the user. For file-based apps, UI Document Browser View Controller now offers a rename API. Search is how many users find their most important data, and advances in iOS 16 make it easier to provide an excellent search experience. The first thing to note is that search now takes up less space by being inline in the navigation bar on iPadOS and the toolbar on macOS. On iPadOS, you can restore the old behavior with UINavigationItem.preferred search bar placement. Additionally, the search bar can collapse to a button to grant more space for other controls. When search is activated, search suggestions appear, and they can be updated alongside the updating search query, allowing you the opportunity to assist your users in their search. Next, I'll describe the code needed to set up search suggestions. To manage search suggestions, conform to UI search results updating, and set your search controller's search results updater. This allows you to update suggestions as the query changes and to act on a selected search suggestion. When the query changes, Update Search Results For is called, allowing you to update search suggestions. What suggestions to provide is up to you. Setting an empty array will clear the suggestions UI. UIKit provides UI Search Suggestion item to specify suggestion content. To respond to the selection of a suggestion, implement Update Search Results for selecting. This method passes the selected search suggestion so you may react to it appropriately. In this example, I update the search by replacing the current query with the one specified by the search suggestion. UI Search text field also has search suggestions, so if you prefer to use that class on its own, you can still implement search suggestions. But if you are using UI Search Controller, you should use its property instead. In iOS 16, UIKit provides new API to help you bring more productivity to your users. Bring more discoverability to your advanced features with center items and the title menu. Improve your document support by providing drag and drop and sharing directly from the navigation bar. Make it easier and faster to search by providing search suggestions. And get a great Mac experience right out of the box with nearly zero effort. Thanks for watching this video. I can't wait to see how you enhance your apps to be desktop class.